Everything around you may look ordinary right now: the air, the silence, the light from your screen, but make no mistake, this moment is divine. Heaven has pressed pause on everything else to deliver this message straight to your soul. You are not scrolling by chance. You are not hearing this by coincidence. You have been summoned. There is a stirring in the spirit realm, and your name has been spoken in heaven's courts. You have endured what others would not survive. You have been overlooked, doubted, and questioned. They saw the surface of your struggle, but they never saw the strength it took for you to keep standing when everything inside you wanted to quit. You've been through fires that should have consumed you, yet you walked out carrying wisdom instead of ashes. You are the evidence of endurance, the quiet storm God hid in plain sight. The reason people doubted you wasn't because you were weak, it was because they couldn't see what heaven saw. They couldn't understand how someone like you, with no crowd cheering, no spotlight shining, could still carry so much grace. But the very thing that made you invisible to man made you chosen by God. You were set apart for a divine unveiling, and that unveiling is closer than you realize. Every delay, every disappointment, every door that shut in your face was not meant to destroy you, it was meant to define you. The waiting was not wasted, it was the womb of transformation. God has been writing something sacred in your silence. The rejection was protection. The betrayal was redirection. Every no you received was clearing space for the yes that heaven had already written in your name. Chosen one, do not be confused by the noise of this world. What is forming in your life right now will not require your defense. It will become your defense. Your transformation will be your testimony. Soon, every voice that questioned you will have no choice but to admit that the favor on your life was never ordinary. You are about to walk into a season where proof will speak louder than explanation. The Spirit is whispering now. Be still. Do not fight the proving process. Let me finish what I started, because what's coming will not just silence the doubters, it will glorify the name of the one who never left you. You may have felt forgotten, but you were hidden for preservation. You may have cried in the dark, but heaven recorded every tear. You may have walked alone, but that path was preparing your feet for holy ground. When you rise this time, you will rise with evidence. When God reveals you, it will not be for validation, it will be for demonstration. So hold your head high, even if your heart is trembling. The same people who questioned your calling will soon witness your coronation. The same hands that pointed at your failures will be forced to acknowledge your favor. Heaven's timing is never late, and the hour of unveiling has already begun. And the Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 6, He will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, your vindication like the noonday sun. This is not poetic hope. It is prophetic certainty. The time of your silence is ending. The time of your public vindication has arrived. When light hits what has been hidden, no darkness can deny it. The tables are turning. The unseen years are about to make sense. You will understand why you had to walk alone, why the doors stayed shut, why the favor seemed delayed. It was never delay, it was divine choreography. Now, the divine reversal is in motion. The same place where you were doubted will become the ground where you are celebrated. The same environment that dismissed you will echo with the sound of your rise. Heaven is setting the stage for the moment where every tongue that spoke against you will fall silent, not because you argued, but because God acted. This is your moment to align. Heaven has moved, and now it's your turn to respond. If you feel this word igniting something inside your spirit, don't resist it. Type 777 in the comments as a declaration of agreement. This is not superstition, it's synchronization. It's your way of saying, "Yes, Lord, I'm ready to step into what you've prepared for me." And as you do, lift your faith higher. Share this message so others may awaken. Like, comment, subscribe, because every time you engage with a message from heaven, you're not just spreading words, you're sowing light. Chosen one. Remember, you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. The truth of who you are will be undeniable when the hand of God moves. Your story is entering its visible chapter, and every doubt surrounding your destiny will soon fall silent in the face of divine evidence. You have carried a weight that words can barely describe. There are nights when you lay in silence, feeling the heaviness in your chest, wondering if heaven has forgotten your name. But no. Chosen one, heaven has never turned away. Every sigh you've released, every tear that fell unseen was caught in the hands of the one who called you. You have walked through invisible battles, yet you never collapsed. You smiled when your heart was breaking. You encouraged others when you had no strength left for yourself. That is not weakness, that is divine resilience. You've been misunderstood because few could comprehend the cost of the oil on your life. They thought your calm meant indifference, when it was really control, sacred strength learned in suffering. The people who doubted you couldn't see that the pressure on your life was heaven's sign of trust. The weight you've carried was not punishment. It was evidence of potential. You were being trained in the unseen, refined where no applause could reach, strengthened where no eyes could witness. When everything felt too heavy, when the tears would not stop, you asked God, "Why me?" And heaven whispered back, "Because I can trust you." You've been the one who kept walking through disappointment, who stayed kind even when mistreated, who refused to harden your heart when life turned cold. That is the kind of endurance only a chosen one carries. The truth is, you've been in divine training. Every delay was teaching you how to wait with worship instead of worry. Every heartbreak was carving compassion into your soul. Every season of loss was chiseling pride away so your spirit could carry purity. God was not ignoring your prayers, He was answering them differently. You prayed for strength, so He gave you weight. You prayed for purpose, so He gave you pain that produced clarity. It is no accident that you've walked through seasons of silence. Heaven hides its strongest soldiers in the shadows before they're revealing. You were never meant to stay there, you were meant to emerge from the quiet, carrying authority. The pressure that made you question your worth was forming spiritual maturity inside you. It was never rejection, it was refinement. And now, the heaviness begins to make sense. The nights you thought would never end were actually birthing mornings of revelation. The tears you thought were signs of weakness were seeds of wisdom. What you carried was not a curse. It was a calling wrapped in camouflage. Heaven placed it in your hands because no one else could have borne it without breaking. Your soul remembers every battle. Your spirit carries the echoes of storms survived. And yet here you are, still standing, still chosen, still burning with quiet fire. The very weight that once bent your back has now built your backbone. You are stronger than you realize, wiser than you think, and closer to destiny than you've ever been. And the sacred writings remind us in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. That is why you were never truly alone, even when no one stood beside you. God has been walking within your pain, breathing strength into your weakness, shaping victory from every fragment of your past. Do you feel it now, the shift inside your chest? The burden is no longer breaking you, it's birthing you. What once felt like too much is transforming into the foundation of your authority. Soon, The very people who questioned how you carried it will ask how you survived it. And you will smile not with pride, but with peace, because you'll know that grace carried what strength could not. Your weight has become your witness. Your story has become your sermon. And though the world may never fully understand what you've endured, heaven already calls you by the name you earned in the fire, overcomer. You will soon understand why the journey had to be this hard. Every delay was sacred design, every silence divine setup. The very moments that once felt like endings were hidden beginnings, waiting to unfold. Heaven never forgot you. It was building the foundation of your glory. You are stepping into the unveiling. The unseen years of endurance will speak louder than any explanation. The weight you carried becomes proof of your divine assignment. No word spoken against you will stand. The season ahead will turn every private ache into a public testimony of grace. So breathe. Chosen one. The night is ending, and dawn is rising with your name written in light. You will no longer walk in shadows, you will walk in evidence. Heaven has prepared your crown, and soon, the world will see what only faith could foresee. You have been marked for misunderstanding since the beginning. The moment heaven placed purpose inside you, something in the atmosphere shifted. People began to sense the difference before you even understood it yourself. Their spirits reacted to what yours carried. You became a mirror, your light revealing their shadows, your peace exposing their unrest. That is why they doubted you. That is why they whispered when your back was turned. But understand this, their rejection was not your ruin. It was your revelation. Those who misunderstood you were never meant to recognize your worth. God often hides his chosen ones in plain sight, cloaked in ordinary circumstances, so that only faith can discern the divine within them. While they saw weakness, heaven saw preparation. While they saw delay, heaven saw destiny unfolding quietly. You were never overlooked by God, you were simply misunderstood by man. Do not despise the seasons where people failed to see you. You needed that. You needed to be misjudged so that when God elevates you, you'll recognize that no human validation could have produced it. Every rumor, every misinterpretation, every assumption about you was actually part of a greater unveiling, proving that what God placed within you could withstand human opinion. There's a certain holiness in being misunderstood. It teaches you to seek heaven's voice above every other. It strips away your desire to please people and roots you in purpose. It forces you to find peace in divine approval rather than applause. When you finally grasp that truth, misunderstanding no longer wounds, it refines. Remember the pattern. Joseph was misunderstood by his brothers. David was doubted by his father. Even Jesus was questioned by his own town. You walk in their footsteps. Every chosen one carries the same mark, the seal of divine difference that unsettles those who see only through the flesh. But take heart. God uses misunderstanding to separate the chosen from the crowd. Your silence has been misread as pride, your peace mistaken for arrogance, your focus misinterpreted as distance. But heaven knows. Heaven has watched you bite your tongue instead of fighting back. Choose mercy instead of malice. Walk away instead of proving your point. That restraint was not weakness, it was wisdom. You have been learning how to stand still and let God defend your name. And the sacred word reminds us in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 11, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me." Yes, chosen one. Even the lies spoken against you are blessings in disguise. Each false word becomes fuel for your unveiling. Each insult is an indicator that your light is too bright for those who still live in shadow. Let them talk. Heaven will speak louder. There will come a day soon when the very ones who questioned your authenticity will witness your anointing. They will remember the words they said and fall silent, not out of shame, but out of awe. Because what's coming will prove that your faith was not foolishness, it was foresight. Now take a moment. If your spirit feels this truth, if you recognize that misunderstanding has been part of your making, comment "I rise above." This is more than a phrase, it's your declaration of freedom from the weight of needing to be understood. You're speaking into your own atmosphere, announcing that you refuse to be defined by the opinions of others. Every time you say it, you strip another layer of doubt from your destiny. So rise, chosen one. Rise above the noise, the judgment, the small talk, the sideways glances. Let your silence speak of strength. Let your peace speak of power. You were never made to explain yourself, you were made to embody proof. Those who once laughed will soon listen. Those who once mocked will soon marvel. Your story will silence every assumption, and your rise will be louder than any rumor. You were never misunderstood by heaven, only misread by man. And when the unveiling comes, you won't need to say a word. Your existence will be the evidence. You are stepping into the hour where silence becomes proof. The eyes that once judged you will watch heaven's favor unfold. Every misunderstanding will turn into divine recognition, clear, undeniable, unstoppable. This is why the rejection had to happen. It refined your focus. The misunderstanding stripped away distraction. You are lighter now, wiser now, ready to carry glory without needing validation from the crowd. So keep your heart steady, chosen one. Let peace be your posture and purpose your response. Heaven is already speaking through your life, and soon, your calm will testify louder than words ever could. Every chosen life passes through hidden years, those long, quiet stretches when nothing seems to move, when prayer feels like it echoes into emptiness, and when promise seems more like a dream than a destiny. You know that space well. The stillness that once frightened you has become strangely familiar. It is not punishment, though everything in you once cried that it was. It is refinement. It is the slow shaping of gold in fire, the purification of purpose behind the curtain of silence. Heaven hides its finest work. Diamonds form underground, roots grow beneath the soil, and prophets are trained far from crowds. The same pattern shapes your life. What you thought was delay was actually design. God has not been ignoring you. He has been instructing you in the language of patience. Every not yet that frustrated your heart was actually heaven whispering, "I am still working." In those hidden years, you learned to see with new eyes. The ambitions that once burned in your chest began to lose their hold, and something purer started to rise, a hunger not for recognition, but for revelation. You began to crave presence more than platform. That shift was not random, it was required. Heaven cannot pour divine weight into a vessel that is still chasing human applause. You have been refined in the fire of obscurity. You have been tested in seasons when no one applauded your faithfulness. There were no cameras, no clapping hands, only quiet obedience, and that is where real power is born. It is in the hidden places that God forges warriors who can be trusted with public battles. The strength you have now did not come from ease. It was carved out of endurance. Sometimes you felt invisible even to heaven. You prayed until your voice broke, yet the answers did not come. You waited for signs, but nothing moved. And still, deep down, you knew silence is not the absence of God, it is the sound of Him building something sacred. Every hidden season carries a holy assignment. It teaches you how to rely on what cannot be seen. You have learned that character is built when no one is watching. You have learned that anointing matures in quiet rooms, not loud stages. Heaven entrusted you with delay because the promise required depth. Quick success cannot carry lasting glory, but the long road builds roots that storms cannot uproot. Think about Moses in the desert, David in the wilderness, and Joseph in the prison cell, all hidden, all misunderstood, all being prepared for revelation. Their obscurity was never a detour. It was divine instruction. The same principle holds true for you. The waiting was not wasted time, it was sacred schooling. Your faithfulness in private has caught heaven's attention. The prayers no one heard, the sacrifices no one saw, the tears that stained your pillow, each one has become a seed. And soon, what has been sown in secret will bloom in sight. But before the unveiling, there must be a refining. The heart must be pure enough to hold what heaven will soon release. When you think about those years of hiddenness, do not see them as lost. They are the most valuable years of your story. They built your foundation, shaped your discernment, and trained your spirit to hear beyond noise. In the quiet, you learned what many never do, to walk by faith, not by feeling. And the eternal truth recorded in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 4, declares, "Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." That is the essence of the hidden years, to perfect what purpose requires. God has been finishing His work in you, shaping maturity that no shortcut could ever produce. You have been learning how to carry weight with grace, how to wait without bitterness, how to trust when nothing seems trustworthy. Do not rush these final moments of refinement. The season of unveiling draws near, but the last strokes of divine craftsmanship are often the most delicate. Let God finish what He began. When He reveals you, there will be no missing pieces, no unfinished edges, only the glow of someone who has walked through fire and emerged unburned. You are the evidence of endurance, the masterpiece that patience built. Soon, the hidden years will speak louder than the ones that follow. What you learned in silence will echo through your rise. Heaven does not rush perfection, and neither should you. There are moments in your story, chosen one, when the noise of the world fades and only a whisper remains, a whisper that says, "This is the way, walk in it." That voice has guided you through deserts of doubt and valleys of silence. It has led you when logic said turn back and faith said, keep walking. You have listened, even when your heart was trembling. And because you did, heaven has been writing something extraordinary through your obedience. In the wilderness, you learned how to hear God's voice. It wasn't in the earthquake of emotion, nor in the fire of urgency. It was in the still, small whisper that reached deeper than words. You began to understand that direction does not always come with clarity, but always comes with peace. Heaven's guidance often feels quiet because it invites trust, not certainty. There were times you thought God was far away, yet He was walking beside you, step by step. He never left your side, not in the loneliness, not in the confusion, not in the waiting. The path was narrow, but you stayed. The road was long, but you didn't quit. That is what makes you different. You are faithful, even when unseen. You are devoted, even when the light seems dim. And as you kept walking, something changed within you. The same silence that once scared you became sacred. The same stillness that once felt empty became holy ground. You started to see that faith is not about having every answer, but about trusting the one who does. You started to sense heaven's rhythm, learning that every step you take in faith sends ripples into eternity. It is written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 6. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. That is what you've been doing, even without realizing it. Every act of kindness, every moment of faith, every quiet yes, you've been aligning your life with heaven's flow. And now, heaven is aligning things in return. You see, your journey isn't just about personal transformation, it's about impact. Every time you listen to these words and allow them to breathe peace into your spirit, you are part of something divine. This message, this light, it reaches further than the screen. It reaches hearts that are breaking in silence, people standing on the edge of giving up, souls who need to hear what you once needed to hear. That's why, if this message has touched you, if you felt heaven whisper through these words, let your response become light. When you like this message, it's like striking a match in someone else's darkness. When you share it, you're letting that flame travel from your heart into another home. When you subscribe, you're saying, I want to keep the fire burning. And if you feel led, consider sowing into this mission not out of pressure, but as a quiet offering of gratitude. Think of your donation as a drop of oil poured into the lamp that keeps this flame alive. Each drop, however small, helps the light reach further into the night. This isn't about giving because you must, it's about giving because you can. When you sow into light, you become part of heaven's story. You're not paying for words, you're fueling a movement of hope, faith, and restoration. Imagine your giving as light spilling through stained glass. It may look like a simple beam, but together, it paints a picture only heaven can see. Your generosity doesn't buy blessing, it becomes blessing. It travels farther than you can imagine, touching lives you'll never meet. So let peace guide your choice. Like this message if it stirred your heart. Share it so that someone else standing in the dark might find their way. Subscribe if you want to walk with this community of faith. And if you feel heaven's gentle nudge, donate as an act of worship, not obligation, a quiet yes whispered between you and God. Because when you help the message reach another soul, you're not just supporting words, you're extending the voice of heaven. You're helping a broken heart feel seen, helping a lost one find direction, helping faith rise again in someone who thought they had none left. This is what partnership with heaven looks like, not forced but flowing, not demanded but desired. The light you pass on always returns brighter, and one day, you'll see that every seed you planted in faith became a harvest of peace, both in your life and in lives you may never meet. There comes a moment, chosen one, when the shadows that once intimidated you begin to tremble at your light. You have endured opposition not because you were weak, but because your very existence threatens darkness. The moment you began to awaken, to pray differently, to speak life where others spoke doubt, something in the unseen realm took notice. The war around you intensified not because you were failing, but because you were rising. You felt it, the sudden heaviness, the confusion without reason, the emotional battles that made no sense. Those were not coincidences, they were confirmations. Every attack has been proof of your calling. The enemy doesn't waste energy on the ordinary. He only resists what carries heavenly potential. You were born to disturb darkness, and that is exactly what you've been doing. Sometimes you wondered why certain people turned cold without warning, why spaces that once welcomed you suddenly rejected your presence. It wasn't personal, it was spiritual. Darkness recognizes light before people do. Your presence disrupts what others are still comfortable living with. That is why you were never able to fit in. You were never meant to. You are the evidence that the atmosphere is shifting. The word of the Lord through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 59, verse 19, declares when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against him. That standard is rising inside you every time you refuse to break under pressure, every time you choose peace instead of panic. Every time you pray when you feel nothing, you are that standard. The battle has never been about your past. It's always been about your future. The enemy saw where you were headed before you did. That's why the opposition began early to make you quit before your purpose matured. But you didn't. You stood when standing hurt. You believed when belief burned. That is why heaven calls you unbreakable. There is something sacred about those who keep walking through storms they don't deserve. You have been learning to fight not with anger, but with authority, not with fear, but with faith. Some victories come by silence, some by worship. Some enemies fall not when you react, but when you refuse to. The darkness has realized it can't destroy you, so it tries to distract you. The very fact that the attacks haven't stopped means heaven's hand is still upon you. If you were finished, the enemy would have stopped, but you are not finished, you are just getting started. You've walked through strange warfare, but the wind is shifting. The intensity you feel is not your end. It's the sign of your nearing breakthrough. Every tear, every prayer, every sleepless night has been fueling what is about to unfold. Now pause for a moment. If this word stirs something sacred inside your spirit, if you've felt the invisible battle pressing against your peace, comment 888 right now. Why 888? Because in the language of the Spirit, it symbolizes endless new beginnings, the rhythm of heaven that keeps restoring what was lost. When you write 888, you're not just typing digits, you're pressing a spiritual key, aligning your faith with heaven's promise. Each 8 whispers resurrection. Every repetition says restoration. Let this act be your silent roar that tells the darkness you should have finished me when you had the chance. It's not ritual, it's remembrance. A sign that no weapon will have the final word. The storm has been loud, but heaven's promise is louder. You are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from it. What fought to bury you will become the soil that grows your greatness. Keep standing, chosen one. You were never outnumbered, you were always surrounded by heaven. You have survived what others could not endure. The weight that once felt unbearable has now become your testimony. Every scar carries a story, and every story carries light. Heaven did not forget you, it refined you. The winds that came to scatter you instead strengthened your roots. You no longer bend to fear, because faith has taken deeper ground within you. What once wounded you now worships with you. Every storm that tried to silence your name has become the rhythm of your roar. You no longer walk in defense, you walk in destiny. The same fire that tried to consume you now glows behind your eyes. Stand tall, chosen one. The darkness knows your name and trembles, for it cannot touch what God has marked. You are not just surviving anymore, you are becoming the sign that heaven's light always wins. Everything around you is shifting. Chosen one. What once felt stable now trembles, and what once seemed certain now shakes. You look around and see familiar things falling apart. Friendships fading, opportunities closing. Paths you thought were permanent dissolving into air. It feels like chaos, but it is not destruction, it is divine construction. What you are witnessing is the shaking before the shift. Heaven is clearing away what cannot carry the next version of you. There are seasons when God must allow a holy collapse, not because he enjoys your discomfort, but because he refuses to let your destiny rest on unstable foundations. The shaking is heaven's way of protecting your future. Every structure not built on truth must fall, and though the breaking hurts, it is also your birth. You are being remade, not ruined. You prayed for change, but change never comes dressed in comfort. It arrives like thunder, tearing down what no longer fits. It is easy to ask for transformation until transformation starts dismantling what once felt safe. But do not resist it. This is not punishment. It is promotion. The shaking is proof that heaven is active in your story. Remember, mountains only move when the earth shifts beneath them. You asked for movement, and God answered through shaking. If He left things untouched, you would have stayed in the same place forever. You cannot build new altars on old ground. This is why your surroundings seem uncertain. Heaven is reordering them for the next dimension of your calling. The word of truth written in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 27, reveals the removing of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. You, chosen one, are what remains. When the world quakes, your spirit stands firm. The shaking is not sent to destroy you, but to reveal what in you is eternal. Think of a tree in the middle of a storm. Its branches whip and twist, its leaves scatter, but the roots dig deeper. That is you. Every wave of uncertainty pushes your roots further into faith. You are learning to trust not in outcomes, but in the one who holds outcomes in His hands. The branches may lose their leaves, but the tree stands stronger after the storm. Do not mourn what is falling away. Some things are being removed because they cannot travel where you are going. You may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and thank God for every door that closed, every plan that failed, every voice that went silent. What left you made room for what's meant for you. The shaking also reveals hearts. In seasons of comfort, everyone looks loyal, but in seasons of shaking, true character surfaces. You've seen it, people who once promised to stand beside you quietly step back when the pressure comes. It's painful, but necessary. God removes counterfeits before the real is revealed. Every departure is direction. Every loss is leading. You are not losing control, you are being repositioned. The trembling ground beneath you is not a curse. It is the sound of chains breaking. You are moving from surviving to soaring, from carrying burdens to wearing crowns. This disruption is divine. When everything feels unstable, remember the shaking is temporary, but what remains after it will last forever. Your faith, your calling, your identity, these cannot be shaken. The fire can test them, but it cannot consume them. So breathe. Let what must fall, fall. Let what must break, break. What stands after this season will be pure, refined, and real. You are not in free fall, you are in divine hands. The same God who allowed the ground to move will establish your steps upon it again. And when the dust settles, you will see clearly the shaking was never meant to scatter you. It was meant to strengthen you. What is being rebuilt in this season will not crumble again. You will stand taller, shine brighter, and walk lighter. The storm does not define you, it reveals you. Soon you will understand that this breaking was your becoming. The trembling around you was simply heaven's announcement. It is time. The shaking was never your ending. It was your awakening. What fell apart made space for what is divine to take root. The breaking simply cleared the way for breakthrough. Every collapse carried instruction. Every closed door whispered direction. The trembling ground beneath you was teaching your feet how to stand on faith, not familiarity. You were being refined, not replaced. Now peace returns, quiet but unshakable. You can feel it, something solid beneath the uncertainty. This is what remains after the shaking: a heart anchored, a soul unmovable, a destiny secure. There is a silence that speaks louder than thunder. You have entered that sacred stillness now, the calm before the storm of fulfillment. It is the moment when heaven goes quiet, and every voice around you seems distant. You look for signs, but nothing moves. You pray, and the words seem to echo back. You wonder if perhaps you missed something, if God has turned his face away. But this silence, chosen one, is not absence. It is anticipation. Heavenly silence often comes right before divine movement. When God is preparing to shift something monumental, he quiets the noise first. The same way an orchestra hushes before the first note. Heaven holds its breath before release. The silence is not rejection, it is readiness. It is the universe aligning under heaven's command, preparing the stage for your unveiling. This is the season where faith must grow without sound. The silence is stretching your trust, teaching you to believe even when there is no echo of reassurance. It is easy to have faith when the wind of confirmation blows around you. But true faith matures in still air. You are learning to hear without hearing, to see without seeing, to walk by conviction rather than comfort. There will be moments when doubt whispers, "You've been forgotten." But if you listen closely enough, you'll sense another voice beneath it, the steady heartbeat of heaven that never stopped for you. The silence is a cloak, not a void. God hides behind stillness so that you learn to recognize his presence even when his voice is withheld. Remember the story of Elijah. He waited for God in the wind, in the earthquake, and in the fire, but God was not in any of them. Then came the gentle whisper, softer than breath, carrying power greater than any storm. That is what this silence is, the quiet before the whisper that changes everything. The scripture reminds us through the writings of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for the appointed time. It hastens toward the goal and it will not fail. Though it tarries, wait for it will certainly come. It will not delay. That verse holds your truth. The promise has not disappeared, it is simply ripening. Heaven refuses to deliver destiny half-baked. You have waited long, and it has been heavy. But this stillness is the oven of purpose. Something holy is forming in the dark, silent space between what was spoken and what will be seen. When heaven grows quiet, the enemy grows loud. His strategy is always distraction noise to make you abandon what silence is building. Resist the urge to fill the quiet with panic. Let stillness finish its sacred work. It is creating space for clarity. It is separating your emotions from your discernment, teaching you to anchor truth deeper than feeling. Sometimes the silence is not just God waiting for the right time. It's heaven waiting for you to stop striving. You've prayed, you've planned, you've worried. Now it's time to rest. Divine silence is often the sound of completion. When the painter stops brushing, it's because the masterpiece is nearly done. Do not misread the hush as a lack of movement. Heaven's quiet moments are never empty. Beneath the silence, angels are arranging answers, aligning hearts, preparing circumstances. Tsani, you cannot see it yet, but threads of grace are weaving together behind the curtain. When the sound returns, it will come with revelation. Learn to rest in this holy pause. This is where your strength renews. This is where your perspective clears. When you surrender to silence, you discover peace that does not depend on progress. You realize that waiting is not weakness, it is worship in disguise. The world rushes, but heaven works in rhythm. You are being invited to dance to that rhythm, now slower, deeper, wiser. The silence is teaching you how to move with heaven's timing, not your own. And when the moment comes, when the stillness finally breaks, you will be ready, not desperate, not doubtful, but prepared. Because when heaven finally speaks again, it won't whisper confusion, it will thunder confirmation. You will understand that every quiet night had purpose, every unanswered prayer had design. The silence that once scared you will become your sacred memory, the place where you learned that even when God said nothing, He was still doing everything. So rest now in the holy quiet. Don't chase noise. Embrace stillness. Let your heart be the instrument heaven tunes in this pause. For soon, the conductor will lift his hand, and the music will begin again, and every note will sound like answered prayer. There will come a moment, chosen one, when silence gives way to sound, when everything that has been hidden begins to move, breathe, and unfold. Heaven is preparing to speak in ways that will leave no room for doubt. What has been forming quietly is about to become visible. The stillness of faith will soon turn into the sound of fulfillment. You have walked through years of believing without seeing, through seasons where promises felt like distant dreams. But God has not forgotten one word He spoke over your life. The vision He planted in you has not died, it has been incubating. You have been in a spiritual womb, surrounded by divine stillness, but what was silent is now beginning to stir. The time of unveiling has come. Every doubt that lingered around your name will soon fall silent. Every whisper that questioned your faith will be answered by evidence. God is not just going to restore what you lost, He is going to multiply it. The very thing that once brought you shame will become your greatest testimony. There is a sacred moment when heaven decides to make things public. You are approaching that moment now. The quiet battle you fought privately is about to turn into a victory seen openly. The same mouths that once doubted you will speak of what God has done. You will not need to defend yourself, God's work will do it for you. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 7. Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. This is your portion, your promise, your prophecy. You are entering the season of divine recompense. Everything that was taken unjustly will return. Everything that was delayed will accelerate. The years of sowing and tears will now yield harvests of joy. You will look back and see that even your heartbreak had holy purpose. Every unanswered prayer was an unseen preparation for what is now about to arrive. This is not imagination, it is divine timing. The season of silence is breaking open. The sound you will hear next is the sound of vindication, the echo of promises fulfilled, doors opening and blessings bursting forth like rain. You have waited long enough. Heaven has written now over your timeline. And when the evidence appears, you will realize that nothing was wasted. The tears, the silence, the rejections, all of it led here. Heaven always delivers on time, even when it seems late to earth. The waiting was never delay. It was divine choreography. Now, as this word reaches your spirit, type "I see it" in the comments. Let that simple phrase be your declaration of discernment. You are not saying, "I hope it happens." You are saying, "I already perceive it." When you write "I see it," you are choosing to view your reality through faith's eyes rather than fear's. You are aligning your vision with heaven's horizon. That phrase becomes a key, it unlocks your perspective. You begin to notice small confirmations, unexpected peace, sudden clarity, conversations that feel heaven-sent. Each one whispers, "It's happening." The atmosphere shifts when you speak faith aloud. Those 3 words, "I see it," turn your waiting into witness. Faith does not deny reality. It declares a higher one. It sees what is unseen, trusts what is not yet tangible, and celebrates before the trumpet sounds. That is where you stand now, in the space where faith becomes sight. So stay alert. Watch with wonder. The evidence you've prayed for is approaching like dawn, subtle at first, then radiant. The same stillness that once tested your endurance will now testify to your endurance. The silence was never empty. It was filled with the sound of God preparing proof. Soon you will stand in the place where prophecy meets reality, where heaven's word takes form. When it happens, you'll understand that faith was never just belief, it was vision. You saw it before it arrived, and that sight became your strength. What you are beginning to see is not coincidence, it is confirmation. Heaven is revealing the pattern behind the pain, the purpose behind every pause. The fog lifts, and you recognize divine precision in every step. Your eyes are awakening to prophecy fulfilled in motion. I see it as no longer just a phrase, it's a revelation. You're realizing that faith was vision all along, not imagination. Now you walk with certainty, not confusion. You no longer chase signs, you interpret them. You've moved from hoping to knowing, from waiting to witnessing. The unseen has finally become visible before your very eyes. There is a crown waiting for you. Chosen one, a crown that cannot be contested, delayed, or denied. It has been shaped through every trial, every silent season, every wound that refused to destroy you. This crown is not made of gold or jewels, it is made of endurance, humility, and faith refined through fire. You did not chase it, you became it. The authority you now carry was forged in the furnace of waiting. You may not realize it yet, but everything you endured has placed something eternal upon your head. Heaven has been crafting this moment behind the scenes, setting the table in the presence of those who doubted you. The breaking was part of the crowning, the ashes part of your anointing. You are being lifted not because you sought elevation, but because you stayed faithful when no one was watching. And now, as heaven begins to reveal you, the light that shines through you will not be borrowed, it will be born from within. You are the living proof that endurance produces glory. Every tear you sowed in secret has become a jewel in your crown. The holy text proclaims in the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10, "Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life." This is the promise written over your name, not a crown made of metal or stone, but one woven with divine breath, a symbol of victory for those who never surrendered their belief. Yet as this word finds you, remember the crown is never just for display, it's for service. You are not crowned to be admired, but to be assigned. The glory resting on your life is not meant to be kept. It's meant to be given, shared, and multiplied. Every time you let your story shine, you lift someone else from their shadow. Every time you choose kindness over pride, you extend the kingdom. And every time you share a word that healed you, you become part of heaven's rescue plan for someone else. That is why, if this message has touched your heart, take a moment to let it travel further. When you like this message, it's as if you're polishing your own crown, acknowledging that it still shines. When you share it, you lift that light high enough for another weary soul to see. When you subscribe, you're saying, "Keep the flame alive, I want to walk with this light again." And if you feel a quiet nudge within you, consider giving not as payment, but as planting. Think of your donation as a seed of gratitude laid at heaven's feet. Each seed keeps the light flowing, turning one candle into 1,000. There is a beauty in generosity when it comes from the heart. Your giving is not currency, it's continuity. It's saying, "Let this message live beyond me." Like a stream pouring into a river, your gift becomes part of something larger, something that keeps hope moving forward. You are never asked to give out of emptiness. True giving flows from overflow, from a heart touched so deeply that it naturally releases light into the world. Whether your offering is a kind word, a prayer, or a contribution, it becomes a note in heaven's melody. Each gesture says, "I believe in the light that healed me." Imagine it this way when you support what heaven is doing. It's like tending a garden you may never walk through, but others will. Someone will sit under the shade of a tree you helped plant. Someone will find peace in a word your kindness carried. That is what partnership with purpose looks like: quiet, sacred, and eternal. Like, because your agreement keeps the message alive, share. Because your story might be the bridge to another heart, subscribe. Because you were never meant to walk this journey alone. Give, if your heart feels that whisper of gratitude, because giving is not loss, it's love in motion. You are wearing your invisible crown now. Every act of faith, every seed of kindness, every yes whispered in the dark, it all glows from within you. You are not just blessed, you are becoming a blessing. And as you give light, light returns. As you lift others, heaven lifts you higher. When you look back, you will see that the crown was not a reward at the end, it was the reflection of who you became along the way. Your faith shaped it, your endurance secured it, and your generosity will keep it shining. So stand tall, chosen one. Let the world see the quiet glow of your crown, not because you sought glory, but because you carried grace. And let your life be the proof that true royalty is not worn, it's lived. There is a holy reversal unfolding. Chosen one, the turning of tables long set against you. For years you have walked in the shadows of misunderstanding, injustice, and delay. You have watched others rise while you remained hidden, faithful, and waiting. But heaven is not blind to endurance. What was once overlooked is now being orchestrated for your unveiling. The very ground that held your tears will soon bear your testimony. When God begins to turn the tables, everything familiar shifts. The same places that once rejected you will call your name. The same voices that once dismissed you will speak honor where they once spoke doubt. This is not coincidence, it is divine choreography. God is restoring balance in your story, redeeming moments that seemed lost, and rewriting every narrative that once misrepresented you. The sacred text reminds us in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." That is what is happening now. Heaven is setting a table not for revenge but for revelation. This is not about your vindication, it is about God's faithfulness made visible. You were never meant to fight your own battles. God was always preparing your proof in private. Now that the season of hiding is over, heaven is setting you in plain sight not to boast, but to bless. Your rise is not an act of arrogance, it is an act of obedience fulfilled. There is a rhythm to divine justice. It does not rush, it ripens. God waited until your heart was healed enough to handle the weight of being seen again. You are no longer moved by applause, nor broken by absence. You have learned to walk steady, whether surrounded by crowds or silence. That is why this elevation will not destroy you, it will display you. This turning of tables is not sudden. It has been quietly forming through every small act of obedience. Each prayer you whispered became a brick in the foundation of this moment. Each act of kindness became a seed planted in the soil of tomorrow. Now, the harvest begins to rise. You will begin to notice subtle shifts, first doors opening easily, conversations turning in your favor, opportunities finding their way to you without striving. These are not random blessings, they are divine alignments. When God begins to move, effort is replaced by ease. Grace begins to do what toil never could. Do not be surprised if some of the very people who once doubted you try to reconnect. It is not always malice, it is recognition. They are not returning because you changed, they are returning because they finally see what was always there. The light they once overlooked has become undeniable. The tables turning does not mean humiliation for others, it means illumination for all. God uses your restoration as revelation for many. Those who once mocked your faith will see its fruit and remember their own forgotten prayers. Your victory will become a sermon none can deny. This is why humility must remain your crown. Do not let vindication turn into vanity. You are being lifted not to stand above others, but to stand where light can reach others through you. The turning of tables is not payback, it is purpose unfolding. Understand this: God does not elevate you to prove critics wrong. He elevates you to prove himself faithful. Every time you rise, it echoes heaven's character. The more you shine, the clearer his goodness becomes to those watching. This is not your doing, it is his design. So when you sit at the table prepared before you, do not look around for those who hurt you. Look up to the one who held you. Every seat at that table is a reminder that grace rewrites stories better than revenge ever could. Let gratitude be your response. Let peace be your posture. The same hand that allowed the delay is the one now turning the wheel in your favor. Nothing was wasted, not one prayer, not one tear, not one silent night of endurance. When the tables turn fully, you will realize it was never about proving yourself, it was about positioning you to serve from a higher place. You are being entrusted with influence because heaven can finally trust your heart. You have been tested, refined, and now revealed. This is the holy reversal, not simply success after struggle, but peace after pressure, wisdom after warfare, and grace after grief. You are stepping into a season where the balance is restored and the story makes sense. The tables are turning, and this time, they turn toward light. You can almost hear it now, the sound of vindication rising from heaven's halls. What was once whispered against you will soon be drowned out by the roar of God's faithfulness. There is a divine announcement being prepared in your name. Every unseen act of obedience, every moment you chose truth over comfort, oh no. Every prayer you prayed when no one noticed, it's all being gathered as evidence. Heaven is about to make public what you lived privately. This is not ordinary recognition, this is divine acknowledgement. When God chooses to speak on your behalf, no human voice can silence him. You are about to walk into rooms you never applied for, stand in places you were told you didn't belong, and receive honor that you could never have earned on your own. What is coming is not promotion by people, it is proclamation by heaven. There were seasons where you wanted to defend yourself, to correct the lies, to prove your heart was pure, but you didn't. You kept quiet when everything in you wanted to fight, and that silence was your strength. While you stayed still, God was preparing to speak. It is written in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 20. At that time I will gather you. At that time I will bring you home. I will give you honor and praise among all the peoples of the earth when I restore your fortunes before your very eyes. That is your word. Heaven is gathering everything scattered, bringing home every piece of what was lost. You will not have to chase restoration. It is coming to find you. The vindication of God is not loud, it is lasting. When he restores, he doesn't just replace what you lost. He redeems the time, the strength, and even the reputation you thought were gone forever. This is the sound that terrifies darkness, the moment when your story becomes undeniable evidence that God keeps his promises. You will feel it before you see it. Conversations will start shifting in your favor. People who once ignored your name will begin to speak it with respect. Doors that once stayed shut will suddenly open without force. What you are hearing now, the stirring in your spirit, is the sound of heaven preparing your unveiling. This is your vindication season, but it's also a test of posture. When God lifts you, Will you remember how low he met you when your name begins to carry weight? Will your heart stay light? The true proof of restoration is not in recognition, it's in humility. And now, as heaven begins to move in your story, I invite you to declare your alignment. Comment 9999 right now. Let that number be your seal of agreement with what heaven is about to release. Why 9999? Because it marks completion multiplied, a cycle fully closed, endings transformed into new beginnings, promises fulfilled in full measure. When you type 999999, you are not just entering numbers. You are acknowledging that what once broke you no longer defines you. You're saying the old is finished, and the new begins. Every 9 carries the sound of conclusion, yet when repeated, it becomes a rhythm of rebirth. 9999 is heaven's way of reminding you that nothing ends without something greater beginning. When you type it, you join the chorus of closure, closing old wounds, old words, and old waiting. This act is not ritual, it's revelation. It is a spiritual declaration that says, I trust God to finish what He started. It's the exhale of faith after years of holding your breath. And when you do, something begins to settle inside you, a calm assurance that you don't have to prove anything anymore. The proof is coming. The truth is speaking. The tables have turned. Heaven has taken the microphone. Stay steady now. What's arriving will need no explanation. The same people who once misunderstood you will marvel at the peace you carry. You won't need to defend your name. Your fruit will do the talking. This is your vindication, not vengeance, your moment of divine visibility. Heaven has decided it's time to show what endurance looks like when it matures. And when the evidence appears, it will be clear that the sound you heard was not imagination. It was the echo of heaven saying, now. The sound you hear now is victory unfolding, quiet, steady, unstoppable. What was whispered in prayer will soon thunder in reality. Heaven has spoken, and the earth must now bear witness to your rise. Your story no longer hides in shadows, it shines in full light. The waiting ends here. Every promise breathes, every tear transforms, and your life becomes heaven's loudest proof of restoration. When grace begins to speak, every voice that once rose against you falls silent. There is a sound that no accusation can overpower, the sound of favor fulfilled. You are entering that moment now. Chosen one. The whispers, the rumors, the assumptions, all the noise that tried to stain your name will soon fade into nothingness. Grace is about to speak louder than gossip. You have lived through seasons of misunderstanding, when truth seemed too quiet to defend you. People formed opinions from fragments, never knowing the full story. Yet, through it all, you remained calm. You refused to throw stones back. You chose peace when your flesh longed for proof. That was not weakness, it was wisdom. Heaven saw every time you bit your tongue, every time you turned away from bitterness. What others thought was silence was actually surrender, the kind that invites divine defense. Now, God steps forward to answer what you could not. He does not argue on your behalf, He reveals. Grace does not shout, it shines. When His favor begins to rest on your life, those who once gossiped will have no choice but to witness. This is not punishment for them, it is perspective. Grace transforms mockery into marvel. The sacred word speaks through the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 15. For it is God's will that by doing good you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish people. You have fulfilled this verse without even realizing it. Your consistency has been your rebuttal. Your endurance has been your evidence. You didn't need to fight for recognition because you were never forgotten. Every misjudgment became material for your making. Every false story turned into a backdrop for truth. You see, when God writes your narrative, He allows temporary misunderstanding to frame permanent vindication. The same voices that once spread lies will one day share your testimony, saying, "Surely the hand of God was upon them." Grace has a way of rewriting reputation. It covers where shame once lived, repairs what rumor broke, and replaces accusation with affirmation. The light now breaking over your life does not expose you. It exalts the truth that you stayed faithful. There is a beauty in knowing you no longer need to be understood to be at peace. Heaven knows, and that is enough. You have learned that defending yourself is not always your assignment. Sometimes the holiest thing you can do is stand still while God speaks in His own time. The waiting was not silence, it was strategy. Grace needed time to gather the evidence, to make sure that when the moment came, no one could deny it. There will soon be conversations about you, but this time, they will sound different. The same lips that once questioned you will carry your story of survival. The ones who doubted your purity will testify to your perseverance. That is how grace moves. It doesn't erase people. It enlightens them. When grace speaks, it does not humiliate anyone, it heals everyone involved. Even your adversaries will benefit from the lesson. Your restoration becomes revelation for them that no lie lasts forever, and no shadow can smother the light of truth. This is not just about personal vindication, it is about divine demonstration. God uses your life as a mirror to reflect His mercy. The victory ahead of you will not only clear your name, it will teach others that grace always wins the long game. Let peace stay your language. You don't need to correct what heaven has already overruled. Let grace continue to guard your tongue and your temper. The sound of restoration will soon echo louder than the noise of accusation. You are stepping into a new kind of freedom, the freedom of not needing to prove what has already been proven in heaven. You can breathe again, knowing that your reputation no longer hangs on human approval. It is sealed in divine affirmation. Soon, those who misunderstood you will look again, not in shame but in awe. They will see the radiance that can only come from one who walked through fire without burning, through slander without bitterness. And when grace finishes speaking, there will be no debate left to hold. The story will be clear, not because you defended yourself, but because heaven defended you. Grace will speak, mercy will echo, and truth will triumph softly, beautifully, completely. The peace you now carry is louder than any rumor. What once wounded you now worships with you, proving that grace never loses its voice, only waits for timing. Your silence became strength, your scars became songs. And now, everywhere you walk, grace walks too, whispering redemption, restoring honor, and reminding the world that truth always rises. There are moments in history when one person's rise becomes more than personal. It becomes prophetic. Chosen one, that is the season you are walking into now. Your comeback will not only confirm God's faithfulness in your life, it will awaken faith in others who are still trapped in their night seasons. What you are about to live will redefine what hope looks like for those who have forgotten how to believe. You may not feel like a symbol of strength, but that is the very reason heaven chose you. God always picks those who doubt themselves, those who have been counted out, those who carry quiet humility within deep scars. It's how He makes sure the glory returns where it belongs. The spotlight will fall on your life, but the light will always point back to Him. What is coming next is not just restoration, it is revelation. Every lesson, every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer has become part of a blueprint that others will study. People will look at your life and see the living proof that faith is not fantasy. They will realize that surrender does not mean losing, it means lasting. Your story will be a manual for those who have only known struggle. The scripture declares in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, "I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us, the mom." That word is unfolding in you now. The weight of glory that has been maturing inside your trials is about to emerge. Nothing you've endured has been wasted. The tears were measurements. The pain was shaping. And the silence was seasoning your spirit for this moment. You are becoming a living testimony, a blueprint for endurance, a reminder that waiting is not the end of a story, but the preparation for its unveiling. When others see you step into promise, they will find the courage to trust their own process again. Heaven is using your rise as a map for lost hearts. But understand this: when glory reveals itself, it carries weight. The applause will be loud, but the responsibility will be louder. You must remember that this was never about fame, it was about faith. God did not bring you through the fire so you could stand taller than others, but so you could lift others from the same flames. There will be many who come to you asking how you made it, how you stayed kind, how you kept believing, how you never turned bitter. Tell them the truth. Tell them it wasn't your strength, but grace. Tell them it wasn't willpower, but surrender. Tell them the secret was simple: you never stopped trusting that even pain had purpose. The world does not need perfect examples, it needs honest ones. Your transparency will break chains. Your story will be the sermon that preaches long after your words have ended. There will be people you never meet who will thank God for your endurance, because your obedience will ripple through generations. Do not be surprised if your story draws those who once doubted you. Some will come with curiosity, others will come with conviction. Welcome them all, for even your rise is an invitation to redemption. God's glory does not isolate it, illuminates paths for others to follow. What's remarkable is that your faith, once fragile, has become a foundation. You stand not as one who survived, but as one who was remade. You carry both scars and strength, and together they create a language that heaven uses to teach others how to rise. Your name will become synonymous with resilience. But more than that, it will become a reference point, a reminder that no one is too broken, too late, or too lost for God to rewrite their story. Every victory you experience will echo as prophecy for someone else still standing in ashes. And as that glory shines through you, remember to stay small in your own eyes. True greatness in the kingdom is measured not by how high you stand, but by how low you bow. The humility you carry now will protect what heaven is releasing next. This is the beauty of redemption, it multiplies. What began as personal pain becomes public hope. What looked like an ending becomes an example. What once seemed like weakness becomes a wonder. Your rise will not just prove that God restores, it will show that He does so abundantly, beautifully, and beyond imagination. The story that nearly broke you will become the same one that builds others. You are not just part of a testimony, you are becoming a movement of mercy in motion. The faith that was born in your dark night will now become the dawn for countless others. You are now standing where prophecy meets reality. What you once saw only in dreams is beginning to take shape before your eyes. The ground beneath your feet feels familiar yet completely new. It's the same soil you once cried upon, now turned into fertile ground for miracles. This is not coincidence. This is culmination. The promise has ripened. The waiting has ended. Heaven has aligned. You are walking into spaces you once prayed to enter. Doors that once refused to open now swing wide with ease. Faces that once turned away now recognize the light upon you. Yet the most sacred part of this season is not what you're receiving. It's what you've become. You are no longer chasing destiny, you are carrying it. The evidence of God's faithfulness is no longer a whisper in your heart, it's written all over your life. But this moment, radiant as it is, carries a holy reminder light is never meant to be hidden. You were not blessed to hoard grace, you were blessed to reflect it. You were not healed just to feel whole. You were healed so your wholeness could heal others. The true power of your breakthrough lies not in possession, but in passing it on. The scripture tells us in the book of Philippians chapter 2, verse 15, "Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky as you hold firmly to the word of life." That is your assignment now, to shine not for applause, but for awakening. Every act of love, every word of truth, every gesture of grace becomes a spark that lights another soul's sky. And as you walk in this new light, you will feel heaven's nudge to let it flow. When you like this message, picture it as a candle lifted into darkness, one flame, small yet steady, guiding another traveler through their night. When you share, it's like opening a window, letting warmth spill into someone else's cold room. To subscribe is to return to the hearth again and again, to sit by the fire that never fades, to choose the light daily, to keep the connection between hearts and heaven alive. If your spirit feels gratitude rising quietly within, let your donation become that unspoken prayer of thanks, a drop of oil keeping the lamp from dimming. It's not payment, it's participation. A seed of beauty planted in soil you may never walk, but others will. And if words stir in your heart, write them. Your comment is like carving your name into a tree of faith. It tells others, "I was here, and this light touched me too." Every word you leave becomes fruit someone else can read and find strength in. You're never asked to give out of pressure. True generosity is breath, it moves in and out freely. Your like is a heartbeat, your share a breath, your subscription a promise to keep listening, your comment a testimony, and your donation a pulse of gratitude echoing through eternity. Together, they form a melody of light that travels beyond you. Let your healed hands now carry hope forward. The grace that found you wants to flow through you. There is no demand here, no condition, only invitation. The most beautiful offerings are those that flow naturally from love. So when you feel that quiet warmth, let it move. Click, share, comment, return, and give not out of duty but delight. Each act is like opening a window in your soul and letting heaven's breeze pass through. You are standing where prophecy meets fulfillment. The light you carry is fierce, alive, contagious. Pass it on. Let it travel from your screen into the unseen. Let it multiply until every horizon glows. And one day, when you look back, you'll see that your giving was never loss, it was legacy. You'll realize that every small act of engagement was worship in motion. And every seed you planted became light still burning in someone else's night. Every light you pass on becomes a living echo. Someone you will never meet will breathe easier because you decided to shine. This is how heaven multiplies miracles through ordinary hearts that choose to stay radiant. The message doesn't end here, it travels. It slips through timelines, across languages, through trembling screens until it finds another heart in need. Your small act becomes a divine chain reaction of grace. And when heaven rewinds the story, it will show this moment a spark turned into sunrise. A simple act of sharing became salvation for another. Love moved, and the world grew brighter. The heavens are rejoicing. Chosen one, the story that once looked like struggle has now become a song. And the sound of your victory is echoing through both realms. Earth hears your rise, and heaven applauds your endurance. Every tear you once hid has become a note in this melody of fulfillment. You are walking into the part of your journey where everything makes sense. There is awe in the air around you now. People who once overlooked you pause when you speak, sensing a weight that cannot be explained. It is not pride, it is presence. The glory resting upon you is not man-made. It is heaven's own imprint. What you carry now is the visible proof of invisible faith. You have moved from merely surviving into a rhythm of sacred flourishing. The same spaces that once silenced you now amplify your voice. The same nights that once terrified you now serve as testimony. You have become living evidence that faith outlasts fear. Heaven celebrates not just what you have achieved, but who you have become. The applause of angels is not for performance, it's for perseverance. They witnessed every moment you refused to quit, every time you prayed with trembling hands, every second you believed when belief felt impossible. Now, as your victory unfolds, all creation joins in the chorus of gratitude. The sacred writings in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, declare, "Arise, shine, for your light has come and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." That scripture has now leapt from page to reality. You are standing in the light you once only read about. The glow that surrounds you is not external, it radiates from the peace within. And this light is not a spotlight, it's a sunrise. It's not meant to highlight one person, but to awaken many. Heaven's glory upon you will call others out of their night seasons. You have become both sign and signal, the proof that dawn always comes, even for those who thought they were forgotten. Look closely at your journey. Every step that once hurt now shines with meaning. The wilderness, the waiting, the warfare, all of it was necessary to polish the gold of your character. The silence trained your ears. The pressure strengthened your spine. The heartbreak softened your heart. You were never losing, you were learning how to carry glory without breaking under it. Heaven's applause sounds nothing like the world's. It is quiet, steady, and sure. And it's the kind of approval that doesn't fade when trends shift. It is the echo of eternal joy over a soul that chose to believe. The greatest recognition is not earthly, it's when heaven calls your name with delight. You are now walking in answered prayers you once forgot you prayed. You are seeing fruit from seeds planted in tears. The harvest came not because you forced it, but because you stayed faithful. What you carry now will bless generations after you. The testimony of your life will travel farther than your feet ever could. But even in this glory, remember the same humility that sustained you in silence must sustain you in success. Greatness without grace is heavy, but glory anchored in gratitude remains light. Let your triumph stay tethered to tenderness. Every victory is safer in gentle hands. This is the moment heaven smiles wider. Not because the journey was easy, but because you finished faithfully. The applause is not for perfection, it's for persistence. The sound that fills the skies is the sound of satisfaction. The divine whisper saying, "Well done." Do you feel it? That warmth that isn't from sunlight but from spirit. That's heaven's way of embracing you, wrapping your soul in approval that words can't describe. You have graduated from striving to shining, from chasing to carrying. And while the world marvels at your success, heaven marvels at your surrender. That's the part that made this victory possible. You gave God your brokenness, and He returned it as brilliance. You handed over ashes, and He crowned you with beauty. Now stand tall, not in arrogance, but in awe. You are living in answered prophecy. The vision once written in hope is now written in history. And as you stand beneath heaven's applause, know this is not the end of the story, but the beginning of a new melody. Heaven claps not because your journey is over, But because your next assignment begins, glory is never stagnant, it flows. And now, as heaven rejoices and earth watches in wonder, your light continues forward, proof that obedience always ends in overflow. There is a silence after victory, a deep, sacred quiet where the soul exhales. You are standing in that silence now, chosen one. It is not the absence of movement, it is the stillness of fulfillment. The battle has ended, the striving has ceased, and peace has finally taken its rightful place inside you. What once felt like 1,000 scattered fragments now forms a single, breathtaking picture. The story is complete. You have crossed the line that many never reach, not because they are unworthy, but because they grew weary. You kept walking when your strength was gone. You kept trusting when the road disappeared. You kept believing even when the heavens seemed silent. That tenacity, that stubborn faith, that relentless obedience has become your inheritance. You now carry the sound of completion in your spirit. The Word of God whispers in the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 7. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. That is not merely a verse, it is your reality. You have fought with grace, finished with integrity, and kept faith alive when everything around you tried to extinguish it. Look at what has been built inside you. Strength has replaced fear. Clarity has replaced confusion. Peace has replaced panic. The same heart that once trembled under pressure now beats with calm authority. You have become the vessel heaven envisioned, a living, breathing testimony that endurance transforms ordinary lives into eternal stories. This final chapter is not about noise or recognition. It's about quiet authority, the kind that doesn't demand to be seen because it already knows it is known. You no longer need validation from the world. Heaven has already stamped you with approval. What you carry cannot be replicated, replaced, or reduced. You are marked by grace. There is a serenity that follows surrender. You have stopped asking, "Why me?" and started whispering, "Thank you." That is the shift that changes everything. Gratitude has become your garment, humility your crown. You wear both beautifully. You are not walking away from the past with bitterness, but with wisdom. Every wound became a window for light to pass through. You've learned that purpose doesn't always look like glory. Sometimes it looks like tears that no one saw, prayers that no one heard, and faith that no one understood. But heaven saw, heaven heard, and heaven understood. Every hidden act of obedience became part of the architecture of destiny. The peace within you now is not fragile, it's fortified. You have learned to trust even the pauses, to rest even while waiting, to believe even without visible evidence. This peace does not waver with circumstance. It anchors you in every storm. It is the reward of alignment with divine timing. Take a moment to breathe in what you've become. The weight is gone. The striving is over. You are no longer reaching for validation. You are radiating revelation. The life you now live is not defined by what you achieve, but by what you embody: peace, wisdom, and light. Your legacy will not be measured by applause, but by impact. The hearts you've touched, the faith you've inspired, the hope you've rekindled, these are eternal. Long after your name is forgotten in the noise of the world, your influence will remain in the souls you've awakened. You have become a ripple in eternity, an echo of divine mercy. Even now, heaven records your story not as a tale of struggle, but as a symphony of grace. Each note composed by your obedience, each pause held by your patience, each crescendo written by your surrender. What was once chaos is now harmony. What was once confusion is now clarity. And this silence you feel now, it isn't empty. It's holy. It's the sound of God resting over His completed work. whispering, "It is good." You are that work. You are that creation. You are that testimony. You've reached the end of one chapter only to find it opens into eternity. The journey does not end, it evolves. The light that burns within you will continue to travel through every word you speak, every life you touch, every quiet act of faith you leave behind. Stand here a moment longer. Feel the calm, the completion, the certainty. This is what victory sounds like, not thunder, but peace, not noise, but knowing, not striving, but shining. The race has been run. The promise has been kept. The fire that once purified now glows steady, eternal. You are not who you were. You are who you were always meant to be, whole, steady, crowned, complete. And now, the journey closes like a sunrise fading into daylight, not as an ending, but as continuation. You've walked through darkness, endured refining fires, and come out carrying light that can't be dimmed. What happens next isn't about more battles, it's about becoming the calm after them. If these words have met you where silence once lived, let that connection breathe. When you like this message, it's not an action, it's acknowledgement. It's you saying, "Yes, I see the light in this, and it sees me too." When you share, imagine releasing a lantern into the night sky. Somewhere, someone who has been searching for a sign will see that light and remember hope again. To comment is to leave a footprint on sacred ground, a quiet declaration that you were part of this moment, that something inside you awakened here. When you subscribe, it's like planting a flag on holy soil, saying, "I want to keep walking with the light." Each return becomes a renewal, a reminder that your faith is alive and still unfolding. And if gratitude begins to rise in you soft, wordless, undeniable, let your donation become that feeling made visible. Think of it as adding oil to a lamp that continues to burn for others. A simple act that keeps the message alive beyond the borders of your screen. You are not giving out of duty, you are breathing grace forward. Every small gesture, each click, each share, each word becomes part of a greater story, light passing from heart to heart until the world grows warmer. So, take this peace with you. Let it move. Let it multiply. You are proof that light still wins, and now you carry it.